We're going to be looking at diabetes, its causes, its history, and different ways of treating it, some of which you'll know about, others of which you won't.
Diabetes is defined as when the cells in your body which need sugar can't take it inside the cells to feed the cells. So the cells, the sugar in the blood builds up and it doesn't get to where it's needed, which is inside the cells. So you get high sugar levels in the blood which disturb all the body chemistry, and you feel awful because your cells don't get the sugar and they can't live, they can't metabolize. Now sometimes with diabetes you get the opposite effect. You get very low blood sugar levels, and that's when you faint. That's called hypo, too low blood sugar, hypoglycemia. Sometimes you get very high sugar levels, hyper, over-sugared blood, hyperglycemia.
Well, I tried conventional treatment through my GP, who told me I had diabetes, and conventional methods, which didn't appear to work. I then met Dr. Jean Monro, who was treating a friend of mine for a totally separate illness. I was quite astounded because I met her in a social setting. I was exceedingly overweight. I was drinking a lot at the time due to stress-related problems I had. And she said to me, "I'd like to see you tomorrow." And I said, "I'm too busy. I run my own business, I travel a lot." And she said, No, you need to see me tomorrow." She said, "I think you're very ill." So I went along next morning, 9 o'clock, had a blood test, and within a week she told me that I was suffering a combination of illness under the syndrome X identification, and it was predominant I was diabetic. So basically she treated me for 3 months with a combination of infusion, diet, and homeopathic vitamin medicine. And after 3 months I had lost a considerable amount of weight. Since I met her 2 years ago, I've actually lost 4 stone. My diabetes is completely clear, and my stress levels have gone, my high blood pressure's gone, and to say that she changed my life is probably an understatement.
Diabetes is now a condition which is occurring as an epidemic, virtually. We tend to think of epidemics as being caused by infections, but in fact this is an epidemic of overnutrition. The two forms of diabetic diseases. There are 2 forms of diabetic disease. One is where it's called type 1 diabetes, and in that the pancreas, which produces insulin, fails to act, and it's thought often that this is a virus or perhaps milk products that can be involved in producing that. When the pancreas doesn't produce insulin, blood sugar rises, and diabetes is caused by an excess of sugar in the body. We identify it by finding too much sugar in the urine. So what we know is that that can happen in young people, and in some families it's common that that will happen. Type 2 diabetes is normally something that occurs as a person gets older, and it's called maturity onset diabetes, and it is due to malnutrition of a different sort from deprivation. It's due to overindulgence. It is, in my opinion, usually caused first by there being a condition called hyperinsulinemia. There's too much insulin being produced in response to too much sugar being produced in the body. Sugar is from all the sweetened foods that we have, but also from all the refined carbohydrate that we have, all the white things, flours and rice and so on, that have had the germ taken out of them or the fibre taken from them. The refined carbohydrates are turned very quickly into sugar. In the body, too much sugar results in the pancreas being stimulated to produce too much insulin. Too much insulin keeps pushing sugar into the tissues until it can no longer take it, and the sugar eventually rises in the blood, which makes more insulin be formed. And hyperinsulinemia is the precursor to the pancreas eventually packing up and not being able to produce enough. The blood sugar levels rise and a person has diabetes. The cure for this is actually dietary in the first instance. And so, although many people tend to think that the dietary cure is just to make sure that you have a measured amount of carbohydrate, and there is also the concomitant effect of obesity that goes with this, we believe here that it should be an extremely low carbohydrate diet, and that very often that will cure the condition.